Welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we are doing another beginner's guide to, and today's topic is death metal. That's right, we've done melodic death, we've done black, we've done prog, but now it's time for classic old school death metal, one of the best genres around. And you know how it goes if you've seen my other videos, because this is a bit different to these are the best albums in the genre videos. So if you start commenting random albums, then good for you, it gives me more comments. But this is a bit different. So the first three albums I'm going to talk about are, in my opinion, the essential albums that you need to listen to. The next three, albums that are great, but kind of help you branch off into other genres. And the last three are wildcard picks. So they're not even classics, they might be, but in my opinion, they're just albums I think everyone should give a listen to. They're kind of like my recommendations. So that's how we work this. It's 9 albums in total. So, with the housekeeping out of the way, let's get stuck in with the essentials. So the very first album, I'm doing this fun, the very first album we're going to talk about is, of course, Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness. Morbid Angel, classic, Floridian death metal. You gotta have Morbid Angel on a list, and it has to be Altars of Madness. You could put Covenant, you could put Blessed Are the Sick, but Altars is like the quintessential death metal album. Chapel of Ghouls, Maze of Torment, all this stuff, yeah. Come on. It is pure death metal through and through, from the artwork, the creepy ghosts and stuff, the zombies in the circular, whatever the fuck it is, the window, I don't know what it is, but it's creepy. Iconic art, iconic music, it's a staple, has to be in the essentials list. Next to that, we're going to talk about Death, the band that started death metal. You could say Possessed did, with 7 Churches, but no. Death did with Screw and Bloody Gore, but we're talking about Leprosy, because I think Leprosy is the essential album in Death's catalogue. It's the most grimy, it's the most kind of like matured after Scream Bloody Gore, and you could say, oh, maybe Human. A lot of people love Human, a lot of people love Symbolic. Really, it doesn't matter. Death has a flawless discography, you could pick any of them. But for pure death metal, Leprosy can't be beat. It can't be beat. Born in a Casket, pull the plug. That is pure death metal genius. You could say, individual thought patterns or anything later than Spiritual Healing is the best, but in my opinion, that doesn't really capture death metal. That kind of captures more prog, in my opinion, the later stuff. And I love that. I love prog as well. But, nah, for me, Leprosy is the death album to be beat. The song Leprosy as well. Come on, you play that to anyone, and it's just, they're going to love it. They're going to love it. Leprosy is the essential death album. No arguments. Next up, we got to have some Cannibal Corpse, rounding out the essentials. You got to have Cannibal Corpse. It's the most popular death metal band. Those other two are more influential, but Cannibal Corpse is the most popular death metal band. So I've got to mention them. And Tomb of the Mutilated is the most popular album, with Chris Barnes on vocals. And he's not doing too well at the moment, but these classic albums are always great, and this has Hammer Smash Face on, which is, it's the classic. It's in Ace Ventura, you'll know it, you'll love it, it's headbangy as anything. Dun 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 dun. It's too good. You gotta do the Ace Ventura moshing with it. It's going through the mosh pit. Amazing. It's not just that. Other great songs like Icon Blood. Yeah, it's good. Classic death metal, grimy, dark, evil, guttural vocals. It's got to be in the essentials list. So now for 3 that'll help people get into other genres, I'm going to go with Autopsy's Mental Funeral. So this is kind of like a death doom album. So it's death metal, but it's very quite lumbering, slow, like a walking cadaver, slowly lumbering towards you. It's kind of like that. And I think this would help people get into, of course, doom metal, death doom, doom, epic doom, any of that kind of stuff, because it has those slow, methodical natures, and I think it would help people get into doom metal. I love this album, and I love doom, so I think they kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, Autopsy's Mental Funeral, it's a classic as well. I love it, and everyone needs to listen to it as well. Next up, maybe a bit controversial, Behemoth with Demigod. That's correct. You might say, well, that's black metal, Questy. What are you doing? It's not, it's black and death, which means it's death metal with a blackened edge. There used to be black metal, Grom, Sventif, amazing albums, love them. But then they kind of shifted off into a death metal direction, and this is one of the most death metal albums they've got. But of course, by me saying that, this will help people get into black metal, because it has that blackened edge to it. Sure, it's heavy, sure, it's, you know, riffy and headbangable, but it has this kind of evil atmosphere around it, this kind of blackened tinge, which help people get into other bands of that nature, maybe Belphegor, stuff like that, and then they might get into black metal from that, which is always good in my books. So yeah, Behemoth, Demigod, give it a listen. And finally, Dismember Like an Ever-Flowing Stream. This is to help people get into melodic music, like melodic death, melodic black, melodic anything. This is melodic death metal to perfection. It feels kind of cheap even saying it's melodic death, because it doesn't sound anything like, you know, In Flames or At the Gates or Arch Enemy or anything, but it just, I don't know. The melodies in here are so serene, so it's got to be. The melodies in here are so serene. Melodies in here are perfect. So this is like a death metal album with melody within, but it's not quite melodeath, if that makes sense. But this would help people get into melodeath and all those other genres if you like the melodies on here, because no one does it better than Dismember, and this album's, it's amazing. Flawless, everyone needs to listen to it like an ever-flowing stream. If you can, because it's not even on streaming services. Come on, Dismember. I know it went on Spotify, then it came back off, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, Dismember Like an Ever-Flowing Stream. Very good. The last three, let's talk about some wildcard picks. The first one, Bolt Thrower. Bolt Thrower. I can't have a death metal list without Bolt Thrower. It's my favourite death metal band on this list. Can't do it without mentioning. You like riffs? Well, this band's for you, because every riff is infectious. Every riff is just pulse-poundingly awesome. I'm going to go with Those Ones Loyal. Yeah, that's right, the latest album by the band. And they made an album so good, they quit after it. They were like, we can't beat it. It's perfection. See ya. Now, they have a lot of good albums. I could do Realm of Chaos, could get people into, like, death grind. I could do Fourth Crusade, kind of doomy, death doom. They're all perfect. But this one's death metal to a T, and this one has the riffs, anti-tank dead armor. Come on, the kill chain. At First Light, every song's a banger, every song's perfection. Go listen to it. Next up, Cryptopsy with None So Vile. That's right, Cryptopsy, the most insane band on this list. Lord Worm's vocals are just something from another dimension. If you want something absolutely batshit insane, if you like stuff like Inel Nathrak, or just want your ears tested, give this album a listen. Because some of the songs on here are the most insane songs you'll ever hear. Heaviest vocals you'll ever hear. Just the most technical guitar you'll hear. Yeah, Cryptopsy does it all. One of the best albums. One of the only albums I'd give a flawless rating to, because I have Rate Your Music, and I only have about 6 or 7 5 stars. All the rest are like 4. And this is one of the 5 stars. I think it's death metal perfection. So it's coming here. And last but not least, I gotta mention my boys Nile. That's right, Nile, with Annihilation of the Wicked. This is death metal, but with an Egyptian twinge, Egyptian twang to it. If you like that kind of melody, like Egyptian stuff, you like this, singing about pharaohs, mummies, Egyptian deities, all within a crazy, almost brutal death metal setting. Nile has you covered. Really interesting songs, really unique band, and I've got to mention them because they're one of my favourites. So yeah, those are my list for Beginner's Guide to Death Metal. If you check out all of them, you'll have a well-rounded representation of the genre as a whole, disregarding, you know, the melodeath stuff, because I have a video for melodeath. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this list. What would you add? I don't have Entombed. You know, I could add Entombed, I could add Deicide, classic death metal, Immolation, Incantation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because we only have 3 spaces for the classics anyway. So let me know your own down below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.